Hello there and welcome to yet another edition of Clear View. And you might want to ask, which view are we clearing on this delightful day? When we are taking a trip to Taraba State to have a chat with the #1 citizen there, who is the governor of the state, His Excellency Architect Darius Ishaku. We really want to talk with this gentleman because of what we heard about the Greek revolution going on in the state. And apart from that, as a leading member of the People's Democratic Party, who we are hearing has been saying that the party has bounced back. So when we interview him, he'll be able to tell us more. And he has this anti-grazing bill, which he received some kudos for, and on the other hand, he received some knocks. So you join me now in welcoming to the program the Executive Governor of Taraba State. Your Excellency, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Let's start this way. You are a chieftain of the People's Democratic Party, and we want to congratulate you after watching the non-elective convention. Now, can you, in your position as a chieftain of the PDP, say that the party has indeed bounced back?
Yes, indeed, PDP has come back and in full swing. People are not saying, it's evidently clear. That was a non-elective convention, but you can see the turnout of people. It was very, very much. So PDP indeed has come to stay. And by the special grace of God, we will ensure that it stays. Because a democracy without a vibrant opposition is no democracy.
Now, having agreed that the party is here to stay, Your Excellency, can you confidently say that the party has learned its lessons?
Yes, indeed, having lost an election, and some of us now being in opposition, we know the bitterness of being in opposition, and we've learned our lessons too. The PDP had made her own mistakes, just like any human organization that stays too long in a particular place. There are obvious abuses in the party, and committees have been set up to look into what had gone wrong and how we can correct it. And we are in the bid of correcting it, and we will make sure that what happened before doesn't occur again, and correct the party, put the party to a firm setting. Look, let me tell you, Nigeria, for it to get a proper and a good democracy, you need to, as of a necessity, to have vibrant political parties. The sieving of political leaders starts from the party. If the party is indeed well structured, if the party is indeed properly stabilized to filter his leadership, then you will know that we are going to have a very good leader from any party.
Right here in Abuja, we hear news about the Greek revolution taking place in Taraba. Can you give us an insight into that revolution?
Thank you very much. Yes, indeed, there is agricultural revolution going in Taraba State. When I first came in, even before I came in, I've always said Taraba State is the nature's gift to the nation, and it's a nature's gift to herself. And we have three very important things, if we harness correctly, in Taraba. It will stop me from coming to Abuja and getting the monthly stipends. Agriculture, mining, tourism, among others. But I am concentrating on just these three. Agriculture, yes, we're there. We're working assiduously on the rice to make sure we get a lot of people to farm rice. And we have been winning. I'm hoping this year we'll even win much more grounds than last year. Taraba State can supply the whole country with rice. I understand about $8 billion is spent annually to import rice. That can be wiped up by Taraba State and 1 or 2 other states in the country. We won't need to be importing this rice. It's available here and in quantity. I used to farm rice in the 80s. I had 4 square kilometers of rice farm. And I was doing well. I know all the rice millers in Abakaliki. But when they lifted the ban on rice importation, my rice farm came down. All the farmers know my office. They go pay there, they go to my farm in Bantaji, and they collect it. But now we're aggressive. We're on the rice. We're on soya beans. We're on Beni seed. Last year we planted improved seed. We've given people. We're on cassava. We're soon going to wake up. We have a cassava mill in the state. We're also going to palm oil. Cocoa we have started. So name it. The luck of Taraba State is that from the temperate climate to the tropical, we have it. I've started with the tea. The tea is doing very well. It has been passed in Germany. Our problem now is the quantity that we need to export. We have started on coffee. The coffee is also on the highland. It will do well there. Wheat has been recommended for us on the upland, but I don't want to choke out my hands. I want to start one at a time. On the lowlands, we have the rice, which we are working very hard on it. And then I established the best greenhouse in the country, Taraba Vegetables. If you go to ShopRite, I'm sure you will get it there, and other shops in town. So we're working very hard on the agriculture, and by the will of God, we will succeed.
Now, I want to ask, is diversification possible? Because it seems as if governments at various levels are just paying lip service to this issue.
Diversification is very, very much possible. And let me tell you, it's already working.
In Taraba State?
Let me start with the vegetable. Our truck, while bringing this vegetable to Abuja, somebody spotted it in Karo, followed the truck to where they are offloading to the warehouse. And when the manager came out, he was asking, is it true that you have vegetables? He said, yes. So he opened the truck for him to see. He said he was buying from somewhere else. He said, come and buy from us. We will supply you. You go and supply to whoever. It's already working. Because these vegetables that are being consumed in Abuja, hitherto, were mostly brought up from outside. I'm just talking of vegetables. I've not gone to the big one like rice. Rice, aggressively, the government is pursuing it, and we're happy about it. We're all keen in, those of us that are rice-producing states, we're all keen in, and we're doing very well. A lot of states have keyed into it. That will help us reduce the importation bill. You see, the problem, a country that doesn't feed herself is not yet a country. You can't be a country you don't feed yourself. Because your export, just like it is, everybody is stopping it. Very soon, the oil will be old-fashioned. And so what will you depend on? But if you can feed yourself, you are comfortable.
All right. If we have agric as what everybody is talking about, referring to diversification from oil, don't we have any other sector that we can diversify into to make sure that eventually, if oil gets dried up, we are not left in the limbo?
Mining is a huge potential. In fact, if you ask me, I will get more money from mining in Taraba than even the agriculture. But the problem of the mining is the law. The law gives the federal government exclusive right on the mining. But there is a snag. The Constitution gives me right over the land and gives the federal government right over the mining. But the point is, how do you mine when you will mine without going through the land? So there is a problem there. There is a need for harmonization. Because the states, all the states, inclusive of me, now you are afraid if you want to start mining, it has to be from Abuja. You have to get the license. I had a case where a fellow had his certificate since 1978 on the land. But the land, the survey, the Federal Ministry of Mining gave him a mining lease license to come and mine on that land. And when he came, there was an owner of a land. He put his rig and he started. I said, no. I asked the police to quit him. You can't mine on somebody's land. These are the kind of conflicts I'm telling you about. Unless these kind of conflicts are resolved, the mining is painfully not being exploited. I was in Germany. I was in a mining workshop. And we found out that a lot of these countries have gone around and broken down these laws. Example is Chile. Chile has a very good mining law. I wish we could learn from some other countries that are mining. Australia also is good in mining. These are countries we should look into their laws, see how we can harmonize it. If I'm a state government and I'm given full license and I mine, why not? Let the federal government get our own taxes. Let the state government get our taxes. And then we develop the people within the mining setup. I'm telling you, mining can give Nigeria a lot much more money.
I don't really know the relationship between your administration and civil society groups and even the opposition in Taraba State. Your Excellency, did you squander 130 billion naira in 2 years?
Well, it's not like anybody can accuse you now that you're a journalist, you talk too much. That is an accusation. So when they accuse me, like the person did not come with any facts. And even a blind person, I'll give you one of my booklets. If a blind person that can't see goes to Taraba, within 2 years, I'll give you this. This is my performance in 2 years. And you will be able to see what we have done for it. To start with, if somebody, this is the greenhouse I'm talking about. I'll give you this to go with it. You will on your own time see it. These are some of the projects we've done. Look, in 2 years, leave agriculture and other things. In 2 years, this is a state that had never, ever gotten 30% in WAEC. Last year, we had 67.3%. This is a state, after 27 years, this year we're the first in the north in WAEC, and we're the 8th in the country. That is education. That is in education. So when somebody, look, you need an opposition, but let the opposition criticize you properly. Not wild, crazy criticism that is going on. The same man said that I spent the whole money of UBE. And the contracts were awarded last week all. The point is that we take our time to do process. And I can assure you, and I'm inviting you, come to Taraba and go around. As a journalist, you'll be in the position to either ascertain. When I resumed May 29th, on the 30th, I called a meeting of the water board because driving to my office, I saw people in the streams fetching water. And I asked, what is it? They said there has been no water for almost a year in the town. No water in the tap water. I called the PAMSEC, who is a female, and I asked her, are you the permanent? Because she was the one acting. I said, go and buy jeans. Go and buy jeans. I'm giving you 2 weeks. Tell me all you need. Give me water. Otherwise, I want 3 names of your replacement. And they gave me the 3 names. And I wrote the letters and kept. And I called her. I said, this and this. If this one doesn't do, you couldn't accomplish, this one will take over. If he doesn't, this one will take over. All the letters on my table, I called her. I called the head of service. I said, I give you. Tell me what you need. I'll give you. In less than 2 weeks, we got water running at the tap. The same thing with light. Now we completed over 7 giant tanks across the city. It's in the pamphlet I'm giving you. That is part of the phase 1, the AFDB. Some went to the papers and were writing that the money for that has been blown. It's all in the papers, you can see it. If you go there, you can visit and see the tanks. We have done a lot of things. I'm one of the first, if not the first state that has a digital television station. I don't know whether you know that. I'm telling you. It's also in my pamphlet there. We have a digital television with studio. We have a mobile van that can broadcast live from anywhere I am in the state. All these are progress.
You put in place this anti-grazing bill. Of course, before becoming a bill, it must have passed through the House of Assembly. But then you had knocks, you had kudos. Can you give us an insight into this bill?
Yes, I received knocks and kudos, and it is expected. In Nigeria, nobody wants, or nobody really wants to take something that maybe looks like you're doing an extraordinary thing, even if it's to the benefit of the people. People always think of you queuing in online. What has been happening should continue to happen. Now here is in my state. I have had more than 9 serious cases of clashes between the herdsmen and farmers. And let me tell you, these herdsmen now are not the herdsmen we used to know. These are elimination herdsmen. They are coming to kill, to take possession of the land. And nobody has given me a solution. Nobody, up to now that I'm talking. Nobody has given me a solution how to solve that problem. If you are in my position as a governor, will you sit up every day waking up to go and be telling farmers that I'm sorry they killed you? Farmers, I'm sorry. You'll be going around? You won't sit and find a solution to it? The only solution to this clash is ranching. Domesticate the animals, give the herdsmen the opportunity to raise this animal properly, like it's done anywhere in the world. I tell you that socially and economically, this is the best thing for the herds people, if indeed they are genuine herdsmen. But the question is that these are not genuine herdsmen. They are occupation army. They are not genuine. And then worse still, our securities, it takes them time to solve the problem. Sometimes they aggravate the problem even for you. I have cases I will not like to mention now. Because in the position where, as a governor, you saw a problem coming and you called the security and say, hey, look, I'm getting an invasion of more than 2-3 million cows coming into my state. What is happening? Watch and stop them. And they tell you there is no problem. I said, how can you tell me there is no problem? Where you are bringing a meat in front of a tiger and you tell me there is no problem? You certainly are going to have a problem. These people need the grass and the farmers are there and there's going to be a clash. So what I have done as I'm sitting to you here, I believe that what was done is the best interest of the herdsmen and in the best interest of the farmers. These are the only things that will protect. Look, let me tell you, I sent my members of the House of Assembly, I said they should go to Kenya and study the Maasai. They were there for several weeks to know how and why Kenya is exporting beef and milk every day out of Nairobi. Cargo planes are taking it. If in Taraba I can do that, won't I be happier? Won't the farmers be happier? Let me give a simple example which my veterinary doctor gave me. He asked me when we were doing this anti-bill, just to encourage me. He said, do you have a space in your house? I said, I live in government house, there is a lot of space. What are you asking for space? He said, no, I just want 10 cows. Do you have a space for 10 cows? I said, it can take even 500 cows. It's a large government house. He said, no, take 10. There is this special breed, they call it Sokoto Gudali. 10, they produce between 20 to 25 liters a day. But let's take the lower margin, 20. 20 liters times 10 is how much? I said 200. He said times 30 days. That I said is
1,800.
no 20 times 10 that is 200.
100.
That's about 6,000 liters. All right, 6,000 times 200 per liter. That's about 1,200. He said, okay, take the 200 for the fellow who is supplying the grass. Tell me, a cattle rearer with 10 cows in his domain, earning 1 million in a month, don't you think it's something else? Then I got thinking, as a governor, how much do I even earn? So I'm thinking of even using his method now. That will, I have surplus space in the government house. Maybe I'll read that I will get extra money as a governor. Look, if I can pump 1 million into, say, 100 cattle rearers, I'll be one of the high-paced people. Because then I'm empowering them. Then nobody will use them for any violence. And then the farmer will be in peace producing gari for the low-income man to be able to eat gari and not go out to fight. This syndrome of settling quarrels through violence, we must work assiduously to put it aside. Nigeria is turning to something else. When I was growing up, it wasn't like that. The farmers in my village will beg the cattle rearer to stay for 1 month. Then they will beg him to stay another 1 month. He will say, no, he's in a hurry to go to market. They will say, please stay. They will give him everything. Why? Because they need the manure. It was a symbiotic living, and it was lively. And let me tell you, in some of the villages, they still live like that. And these alien herdsmen who are coming vicious with AK-47, we must work hard to stop it.
Well, that means you have been involved in a lot of trying to douse tension in your state. But nationally, Your Excellency, there are so many agitations. Resource control, we want to be on our own, here and there. What is going on? It has never been like this in the history of Nigeria.
The agitation, let me tell you the bad news, it will continue. As long as there's no fairness in the society, as long as there's no equity in the society, as long as there is the Constitution is put aside, I hear people talking about agitation. It will continue. I have just told you one. Somebody who is sitting in his farm, they kill everybody in the village, and a woman is coming back from the farm. She didn't know what has happened. And this killer, hungry killers, put her 2 hands on the and cut off the 2 ribs. Do you tell me the continuation of that will bring peace? Agitation will continue, let me tell you, unless we learn to do things the correct way. We must do things the correct way. We must punish people. We must insist that everybody is equal. Some countries don't have a constitution as big as ours. They are working. Look at Britain, look at US. Have very tiny constitution. But we, every day we're amending. Tell me, we copied this constitution from US. In US, you have a state police, you have a local government police, and you have a federal police. This was deleted in our constitution. Why? If I have the police under my control, I will deploy the police to where I know is most needed. You humiliate a governor to be talking to a CEO in his state. You humiliate a governor. I will call my CEO, he will sometimes not even want to pick the call. I tell him this is what I want, he will not do. What kind of a thing? You are sitting as a governor, you don't have the crown. Unless we do some serious adjustment in the country, these agitations will not stop.
All right, Your Excellency, we really want to thank you for having time for us on Clearview. But before you go, we want to give you this opportunity to talk to your people. They are listening.
The first statement I made the day I became governor of Taraba was, give me peace and I will give you development. Because I made Taraba in pieces. Thank God there's sanity now. But I said, give me peace and I will give you development. If you go to Taraba, you ask them for the 2 years I've been there, they have seen development. I've just mentioned a few to you. I've paid my salaries, I'm up to date. Some people will say whatever. I inherited over 9 months debt. I reduced it to 2, and I'm clearing it. I've started with my pensioners and those with gratuity. I'm paying them. All I ask them to do, to give me peace. Once they give me peace, I will give them development. And I want to tell you, I want to aggressively pursue ranching, so that the people that are telling that I don't hate anybody. God forbid. I don't hate anybody. I love everybody. I grew up not from my biological blood. I grew up in a different setup with different tribes. And those who are saying I hate this, they don't even know that some of my family members are part of their tribe. So what I desire from Tarabans is peace.
All right. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. It's been nice having this half hour with you. You have really educated us on a number of issues. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Thank you. And on that note, we end this week's edition of Clearview. And of course, it has been a trip to Taraba. What took us to Taraba? We heard about the Agric Revolution, which is looking like first of its kind in the history of Nigeria. And being a chieftain of the People's Democratic Party, we had to ask His Excellency what the party has in the offing for Nigeria. And of course, the anti-grazing bill, which almost became so controversial within the state. And we have been rounding up talking about the anti and pro-Buhari protests, and we gave him an opportunity to speak to his people. Thank you very much once again, Your Excellency.
Thank you.